pleasing in the sight of God. God is not looking for people just to make up numbers. He's looking for people who are willing to live their lives for him. People who are willing to pour themselves out unto him. People who are willing to make themselves an offering, a gift unto God. Amen. Everybody likes a gift. Amen. And when we like gifts, we want gifts that we enjoy. Amen. We want gifts that we like, gifts that we enjoy. So likewise, Jesus says, I want a gift from you, but I want a gift that I enjoy. I want you to be alive, first of all. I want you to be holy, second of all. Come on, somebody. Amen. He said, I want you to be acceptable to God. And after doing all that, understanding it's only what we're supposed to do, not anything extraordinary. Our sacrifice. What is our sacrifice? What is the sacrifice that goes along with serving God? Amen. The sacrifice, you might say, well, it's because I come to church. You might say it's because I pray. You might say it's because I give. I might help the poor. But the sacrifice that God is asking for can be, amen, summed up in one word: obedience. Write it down. That's the sacrifice of your life. If you're not obedient, none of the things that you do make a difference. Come on, somebody. If you're not obedient to the will of the Lord and what he has said, nothing that we say or do, it doesn't matter. If we're doing something good in the wrong place, the wrong time, come on, somebody, it means nothing to God. He said, I don't just want a sacrifice. He said, I want a living, acceptable sacrifice. See, God has guidelines too, amen, of acceptance. You say, how do you know that? With Cain and Abel, amen. He didn't accept Cain's offering, amen. But Abel had an acceptable sacrifice. So we have to pour ourselves into God that we might become an acceptable sacrifice. And the path to acceptance is, amen, the sacrifice of obedience. Amen. What am I obeying? There has to be a willingness to abandon yourself. Write that down. And you might want to write it like this: obedience is a willingness to abandon myself for the sake of Christ. A willingness to abandon my will for the sake of Christ. A willingness to abandon my desires for the sake of Christ. Obedience is the sacrifice in this life. And after doing all that, it's only our reasonable service. It's nothing spectacular. We talk about it, we share a lot about it, but to God, it's only what we're supposed to do and be. Amen? Amen. The sacrifice that Apostle Paul was talking about, being poured out as a drink offering, requires a willingness to abandon oneself. We talk about it all the time. We have to get rid of our attitudes. Come on, somebody. Amen. We're so disrespectful, we bring them to church. Sit with them. They sit on our laps and in our heads and in our hearts in church. Amen. He says you got to give that up if you're going to serve me. You got to be willing to die to your flesh if you're going to serve me. You have to be willing to do what I say, not what you want to do, if you're going to serve me. See, one thing I want to make clear, we got to make no mistake that this life is not about what we want. It's all about him. Amen. And church has become a place where it's so consumer-oriented, where we just do what pacifies the people. Amen. We just do what makes them happy. We change the church hours to accommodate. Amen. They don't have to meet any criteria to sing. They don't have to meet any criteria to serve. Oh, yes, you do. If you're going to serve, you're going to sacrifice like the next person. Say amen, somebody. Amen. If you don't want to sacrifice, you don't want to serve. Amen. Because that's what the Apostle Paul said, to serve the Lord, to give him of yourself, to empty out. And when you serve